Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. And in this episode, we are reviewing,
American Girls.
yeah, prologue. Fantastic. This is probably the best one so far. So it had the little. Again, they've done this a couple times now, and it's annoying me. It does somewhere in America, and then it pans out, and I was just like, is that the Empire State Building? So they're in New York. Why wouldn't they just put New York? So yeah, it's this little old lady in the house, and she's reaching up the top shelf, and her stool's wibbling and wobbling and stuff like that. And I was thinking she's gonna fall off this, but no, she makes it down okay. She's cooking her food, tastes great, but it needs a little cinnamon. She's got the booky little Egyptian cat, hairless cat. She gets a knock on the door. She answers it, and it is and so it's basically the equivalent of the Grim Reaper, Angel of Death, but not like, because that's more like disassociative. This is basically a servant of Anubis who's the representation of death, and is like, yo, I've come to collect you, you're dead. And she's like, yo, what do you mean? It's
She took it pretty well, didn't she?
yeah, it's jokes, because initially she's just like, look, upstairs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can say the black people are upstairs.
Yeah, well, you don't really know, do you? If you can say that. Well, she says it.
Why can't you say that?
People
You can
get.
say black, they're black people. We're white, they're black. It's fine.
Oh, you can't say things like
Of
that.
course you can.
So anyway, so
Gypsy.
it's funny because she steps into the thing and she's like, look, if you're gonna rob me, I thought she was great. It's like, I need to visit this girl's house, you know what I mean? If you're gonna rob me, there's a TV over there. My son said there's a camera knocking about somewhere. I'll be like, sweet, you know what I mean? So it's like, no, you're dead, look on the floor. And she's like, like that. I thought that was sick, because I was thinking, I guarantee she falls off. And then I was thinking, oh, she's lucky she ain't dead. So like, when he knocked,
Really, I thought she was dead straight away. I think maybe I was just seeing too many like ghost movies and
they
whatnot. But I
they
thought she
did
was
it
dead.
crazy good. They did it really good, that whole scene. So she's like, yeah, and then it's like, look, you're dead. I'm taking you, because their whole thing is like, you know, the scales of judgment are
Mhm.
gonna weigh the virtues of your life to see where you're going. So when they step out onto the fire escape, they're going up there. The cat's following. I thought that was sick as well, like the never-ending fire escape, and then it takes them all the way up to like up the side of a thing into the desert, and they're going.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then obviously he gets to the scales, whips it off. It's like there's a feather. I was thinking the feather's gonna blow off because there's a bit of wind there, but it didn't. Whoosh, into the chest. I'll take that. Plop it on there, and then yeah, I
Once
like.
again, she took pretty well.
Yeah, the dialogue was. I really liked the dialogue. Well,
Mhm.
she probably didn't feel it.
No, she just said I was using that, but I suppose she wasn't at this point.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of good. And then he takes her to the little five monolith things, and it's like, yo, pick one. And she's like, not the one with my dad in it. And she's like, you seem like a nice fella, you can pick one. And then it's like the middle one. Then she turns around, she's like, chops, and the cat just dashes her in there. I thought that was good.
I didn't get it though. Is that like an Egyptian thing then? Like the five doors and whatnot,
I guess so, it must be. Pick your paradise.
I suppose. But I mean, would her dad be in one of them if he beat her?
I don't know. Maybe it's one of them things, luck of the draw. I don't really know that much about that
I
sort
thought
of
it was.
stuff. It's like, see, that's why I'm looking forward to the, I guess, I mean, Odin's in it, so I guess they've got to do the whole Valhalla thing.
What's
Where,
that?
the Viking heaven, even though they had the
I got
Viking.
like four.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of calling it heaven, they call it Valhalla.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that. That should look pretty cool. So yeah, yeah, great opening scene, and the episode. We had the leprechaun back, Mad Sweeney.
Oh, that was good.
What
I
the?
just like I'm sitting there watching this play out. But I'll be honest, there's still a lot of this stuff that goes over my head, and I don't quite know how all this God stuff works. I suppose the one I'm most familiar with would be the Christian or Jewish God, however you want to say it. But I'm sitting there trying to figure out like well, I mean, they are essentially the same thing, isn't it? It's semantics of whether it was a Jesus or not. But I know how that works. But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, there's the Irish thing. How does this work? As I'm sitting there thinking, like the luck of the Irish thing popped into my head,
Yeah.
and then the dude dies, and suddenly, oh, I got it. I got how that works, and that was funny. A poor dude. I kept looking. I kept. I was thinking like the leprechaun was like this dude's after something. And I don't know. It's just some super nice guy.
Yeah. Is I Yeah, so in terms of him being a god, he's basically the Irish representation, them relying a lot on luck. So it's like a little leprechaun. The first bit where he's like cucked out in the toilet and then is just out of it and is like, oh yeah, if you fire that, it's gonna jam, or worse luck, it's gonna backfire and take two of your fingers off, and is taking his drink, and then she like it goes off and blasts it. I was like, yeah, and then he picks the thing out his face. I was like, that's awesome. I thought that was really good. So yeah, it just so happens, I guess, because like later on he's stumbling down the road and then a guy picks him up. Oh, that's good, that's working out. He's driving down the road and then a thing comes off the back of the truck straight
Yeah.
through the guy's
It was
face.
like Final Destination or something.
Yeah. So basically, because he catches up with Wednesday and Shadow later, basically, he just happened to give away his lucky coin to Shadow, who dashed it on the grave and it sunk down. So now he's having rotten luck. So he goes to find it, and it's sunk through the thing. He digs up the wife's grave. His jokes, because he makes a joke about his wife. I can't remember what it was. I'll just be
Oh yeah, something about being
yeah, on top of.
something. Yeah, that was funny.
I'll just be another guy who's been on top of your wife. So yeah, he digs her up, opens it up. That's empty. I thought that was obvious. As soon as the coin kind of dipped down into it, I figure.
Yeah, I think it's the you know I really like the episode, but I think it's the one thing I kind of criticised at the end was like it was too obvious. I kind of knew his wife was going to be sitting there in an episode full of crap where I didn't know what the hell was going on, but in a good way. It was the one thing I like. We all know where this is going.
Yeah, earlier on in the episode as well, which I thought was interesting, you had while he's back at the Russian person's house, he goes onto the roof, and there's like the third sister, the one who was sleeping last
Yeah,
episode, and she was hot, and I was thinking I knew she
it
was
was.
going to be hot.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, basically them three are like protectors, I guess. They're like stargazers, and they're looking at the stars because there's something trapped in there, and if it escapes, it's gonna like decimate the whole world. So they're there like 24-hour, takes it in shifts to kind of look. She gives him the moon, and she's like, yo, don't give it away, blah blah blah. He goes back down because obviously he's gonna die. He's getting his head popped because he lost the bet last episode. So he's like goes and sees Borg or whatever he's called.
The
Uh,
guy. Yeah,
yeah, Peter Stramer. And he goes and convinces him. That guy smokes like a trooper. I like that. So yeah, he convinces him to give him another game, and then it just happens he plays the same every game, the same strategies, and it's like, yo, you're playing the same. Shut up. You know what I mean? So he mullers him.
it does. It was a bit of an anticlimax. I felt though.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing to get hyped for that episode and then just kind of clear it out of the
Yeah,
way.
it just ended so quickly after the cliffhanger last week.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it was so quick and it was over. But I did complain last week that if I felt it slowed down the show a little, so I suppose I can't complain too much. They got it out of the way. I didn't expect it to be that soon, but
Mm.
oh well, we're off.
So basically, it won. So he's still got the thing. It's like, yo, after all this business is
Mm.
concluded, you can still pop me in the head, but you got to help us, whatever. In Wisconsin, apparently, I figure there's going to be a big meeting there of all the old gods and new gods or whatever. So yeah, then they kind of drive, I guess, and it's like, oh, we're going to rob a bank, and it's not kind of clear how they're going to do it, but he kind of puts in Shadow's head, oh, just think of snow, and it'll snow because he's trying to get a belief system kind of going because he doesn't believe in anything, which the hot woman references earlier, so it's like, oh, think of snow, and they're going to rob the bank. Then it pans to an Indian American, no, I think it's like, because he said something about Oman, didn't he? So a
Mhm.
Middle Eastern guy, and he goes to like a, a job interview, I guess, or some sort of interview, and is there, and he kind of gets stood up and is waiting for 7 hours. Then he leaves, getting a taxi, and there's like another guy there, and they're like talking about stuff, and then they end up having a sensual union. It's like,
Yeah, well, beforehand we do see that dude has like fire eyes and he's a what genie, a jinn.
yeah, I think that's like an angel in like their terms.
I won't claim to know.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was going to look it up, but I was too excited. So yeah, yeah, because that guy, I swear we saw him last episode. Remember when Mr. Wednesday was in the diner, and that guy kind of walked out, and I swear he had
No,
glowing
okay.
eyes as well. So whether it's the same one, so they have their sensual union, and
Find out. It was full on, wasn't it?
yeah, it was intense. I liked it. I thought the imagery was good. So yeah, and I think like I swear he became him.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure. He must have done,
Yeah,
I guess. So, what does that mean, though? How does that work?
I
Like,
don't know.
is has he overtaken his body like a parasite, or is it like a bonding thing?
Central Union. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know, but it was interesting that they kind of did it and like whatever. It's like, oh, okay, at least we didn't have flipping Billquist again. At one point, I thought he was gonna he was gonna do like Billquist, but instead of how she does it, I thought he was gonna do it his way.
Well, it probably did, didn't
I don't
it?
know. Yeah. So yeah, I thought how they kind of robbed the bank was good. I thought that was sick because I saw that on like a con show thing. They show how they've done that before because they kind of put the out of order sign on the ATM, put the sign on the box, and it's like, yo, the things are out of order, so you got to give it to the like security guy, and then like the police roll up. But beforehand, they've kind of been like printed off posters and cards, and it's like, yo, wait by the phone and say you're waiting for a call from your girlfriend if anyone asks. And it's like, obviously, when the guy gets accosted by the when Wednesday gets accosted by the police, he's like, yo, here's my security card. He rings up and is like on the other side of the road with the phone, like, yeah, it's all legit, it's all legit. And the guy drives off, so make fat cash off that. Obviously, before that, he's still doing the kind of mantra with the snow, and he makes it snow. Like, and I'm thinking, okay, did he do that himself, or is that just Mr. Wednesday doing it and trying to convince him that he did it?
I don't know. I mean, isn't that what would confuse me? Is like, wouldn't it kind of be the same thing either way? Because if I mean, like, if he did it, hasn't he done it basically because he's prayed to some sort of god, even unwillingly, that
Mm,
Wednesday is?
yeah,
See what I mean? So either way, it's kind of
I know. I think time will tell, but I figure there's got to be a reason he picked him out of all the people. So I thought that was good because yeah, when they're in the car, Mr. Wednesday says the worst thing for me would be if I was forgotten. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm trying to think. So they end up bedding down for the night. They're carrying on their travels, and like he gets into his room, and there's like his dead ex-wife who's like alive. Hey puppy. So batty. I thought
mhm.
that was batty. Yeah, so that's pretty much a rundown of the episode. Again,
I'm intrigued by what this thing they're protecting could be, or who it could be.
what?
Like, is it the thing that can destroy everything?
Yeah.
Is it too easy for it to be the devil? I feel like that's too simple a thing.
Well, I think that's interesting because really, like, the devil's in the same boat as all of them.
Yeah,
Is basically, as it were, like a god in itself. The kind of belief system. So, like, I'm surprised he like didn't just kind of he doesn't have like a role in it in the sense that, I mean, Jesus is coming up. You got
right. And also, there's not even one devil. I mean, we talked about Anubis. That's another devil. There's Hades as well, right?
yeah. Well, it's interesting because they talked about They taught Jesus as well when they're in the copy shop and they're saying there's like tons of there's a Mexican Jesus and he mugs him off. And there's a white Jesus and an African Jesus and stuff like that. So really, it'd just be the embodiment of all them. It'd be like, think of him as like an entity, and it's like how you perceive him is how you have him in his mind. So if you say you believe in a white Jesus and I believe in a brown Jesus, it's like if the same guy stood in front of us, you'd see a white Jesus and I'd see a brown Jesus. So
Oh, I see. So, because I was thinking it's like there's literally different people. So you're saying it's all Jesus, but
is
we
how
see
you
him.
perceive him, yeah.
Okay.
So like with the devil, say you were like Greek and I was English. If I saw the devil, I'd see a red thing with horns, and if you saw him, you'd see Hades from Hercules, from the
So
Hercules film. You'd see James Woods.
I would never say no to James Woods. So is Anubis Hades? Are they the same person or the same thing?
uh,
And are they the devil? Are they all the same thing? Because in that case, if that's true, then is
so I
Zeus
think it's
God?
interesting because would you put the because like Anubis is like pretty much the god of the afterlife, like Hades is the god of the afterlife, but but the devil's not the god of the afterlife, is he? The devil's like,
He runs hell though, doesn't he? It's basically the same concept.
mm, I guess so. So if you looked at it like that, probably whether they differentiate or anything, I don't know.
Because the problem with the devil as well is there's even different interpretations of the. If you're religious, don't take offense to this, but there's even different interpretations of what the devil is. Like, is he the devil? Is he Lucifer? Are they the same
Beelzebub,
person? Exactly. They're all this other crap. So who knows?
the beast. I don't know. Let's talk numbers.
Uh, I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was good. I thought it was better than last week. Like I said last week, I got why it had to be slow and what they were doing, but I think it allowed them to push through and do the wacky, crazy crap that this episode was.
The chemistry's working great.
Yeah.
The chemistry's working great. I guess they haven't really given details of the story, but they're moving towards something. You just don't know what yet, and you kind of see new characters every episode, as it were. There are a couple bits they kind of threw in that haven't been explained yet, like the angel guy with the eyes or whatever. So
If I have a concern, at this point it's the wife. Like I
yeah,
don't know how that'll play out.
yeah, because I think it's going to drag him down. In the
Mm.
sense, like anything like that, like the cheating girlfriend, it's like, is he gonna forgive her? Is like him being angry at her gonna be annoying? If he forgives her straight away, is that gonna be annoying? Is like, is she gonna be like actually properly there, or is she gonna be like, like a concept of the angel and devil on your shoulder? Like, is she gonna be like, oh, like if he's walking around with Wednesday, is she like invisible in his mind and she's like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you, and like just nagging on in his ear, that kind of thing?
Mhm.
Or is she actually gonna be a corporeal thing? Or is literally like that is it like a thing of Mr. Wednesday? Did he know that like he was going to go and dash the coin there? Did he know she was going to come back to life? Is it like, does it work out for him? Is it going to be like, oh, you got powers now, you can help us or whatever?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd give it an 8. Again, I loved the imagery, like when he was kind of having his dream with the snow, the ice crystals, and like, I like that. I like that. So yeah, I'm Sam,
I'm not.
and we'll see you in the next episode.